TTT THROWDOWN!
On this week's Throwdown, we have New Year. Nicole, demo the workout.
We've got wall balls, bike, box jump overs, and ground to overhead.
It's gonna be a spicy one!
Happy New Year!
All right. This week's Throwdown is a 20-minute AMRAP of 23 wall balls, 23 cows on the C2 bike, 23 box jump overs, and 23 ground to overhead.
We're starting our open prep cycle in TTT Compete Monday, January 2nd. During this cycle, we're going to make sure that all athletes are prepared for the time of the season that matters most to them. Navigating your training while also competing in the open can be a major challenge for athletes. We're going to make sure that whether you're doing the workout once or your plan is for repeats, that you know exactly what to do, what movements to do in training, and when to do your actual open attempts. And finally, in this training cycle, we're going to put extra focus on the skills that make the biggest difference on the leaderboard. That means when these workouts come out in the open, you've done more volume and you have more confidence to crush those skills. To see 6 of the featured workouts from this training cycle with demos from our on-site athletes and get a limited time offer for joining today, visit trainingthinktank.com/compete. Also, on our website, you'll find more information on training programs if you're not into competing, if you're an affiliate owner, or getting help with your nutrition.
If you want to get on this leaderboard, see movement standards, or different scaled variations of this workout, you can check the description down below. But that's not all I have. That was a great
wow,
throw,
that was a good
Chris.
catch.
I almost knocked
What do we
over the
have
mic.
here?
And if you want to win this beautiful Alexis Raptis 2-pood belt, what do you need to do? Put a comment down below, and we will pick a winner. You can have this, or maybe I'll steal it and give you one of the sweaty ones in the
Did you
gym.
get a clean one? Or that one?
Oh, yeah, this is a little
All right.
Brandon.
Targets on the workout for elite men athlete. We're thinking trying to finish that 5th round would be a good target. For RX level athletes, 4 to 4.5 rounds, and for intermediate athletes, 3 to 3.5. Now, the cows on the bike in this workout are the same for men and women, so we'd say that those targets would be shifted back like a quarter to a half a round as targets for you, just based on accommodating different body weights on the machine.
Let's see it.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, friends. Here's to a great 2023 and an even better 2022.
What?
You know what I meant.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, so we start with 23 wall balls in honor of the year 2023.
It's 20-minute AMRAP and then 23 of all the movements.
That's
so
how it works.
2023, 2023,
Nice.
2023.
Nice.
This workout, it will be sneaky.
I don't think it's sneaky at all. I think it's very clear. It's a 20-minute AMRAP of movements you can go fast through.
Yeah,
It
I think
looks
some
really
people are,
painful.
those that maybe like something like a wall bar or C2 bike, they look at it and like, oh man, I can crush this. But you'll get through quite a few rounds, or at least do quite a few of these movements, and the volume adds up quickly. So you're halfway through the workout and you're like, wait, I still have 10 minutes left.
Yeah, my first thought, she did that set unbroken, jumped on the bike. Is it worth doing that unbroken, or in a 20-minute AMRAP, take a break and go faster here?
I think for her, starting with one set unbroken probably is not that big of a deal. She's very fit and pretty good at wall balls and biking and
I
all
meant
that.
for the audience, Mia.
Well, for her, but sure. Yeah, if going 23 unbroken is going to make you bike slower, then definitely break it up.
Yeah.
Because I think you can gain way more time on the bike because you're biking for calories.
Yeah, I feel like it's worth going unbroken in that first set. Maybe as you get later into the workout, you might have to break, but it's only like 45 seconds of work. Oh, here she is.
Good view
We can see
here
the pace. Look at that.
1100. I think that's a really good pace
Yeah.
for any of the females that will be doing this workout. I think males should be 1250, somewhere in there. But that's going to slow down. Like the reality is you're doing box jump overs and with the ground to overhead, you're going to get fatigued after 2 or 3 rounds.
That's a lot of quad in the workout.
Yeah.
The ground to overhead is like a partial squat. The jump is a extension of the knee, and then the squat is a deep flexion. So this is leg, leg, leg. Welcome to 2023, year of the leg.
Exactly.
And the standard on the box jump overs is the open standard from last year where you have to step down.
Yeah. That does, I feel like,
Makes
make
it
it
more
less
quads.
metabolic, but more leggy. Yeah.
Yeah.
This footwork action is really solid. This is something, if the box comes out and it's a repeat standard, that just practicing how you're comfortable doing this. She seems like a great squatter, so this like land in a squat and rotate seems pretty good for her, but some people can't do that as smooth. So this is a good opportunity to practice it if you are planning on competing this season.
Yeah. Now, for those that aren't good squatters, you're not going to be able to land like this with your hips below your knees. You could see like her butt's basically below parallel. So that's going to be really challenging. The other way that you would do this is you kind of land on the balls of your feet and your hips are a little bit higher, your shoulders are lower, but that's just not as efficient. So you still should practice it even if you're not a good squatter or bounder to figure out how you're going to get off the box quickly.
All right, so this is ground to overhead. You can do any style. Definitely recommend snatching if the weight is something that you can move quickly.
Yeah, this is a movement I would say that maybe right off the bat people are going to break. What are your thoughts here? She's going to do this unbroken?
No, she's
I
going
don't
to break
think so.
it.
Yeah, I would definitely break this up. Even if you're going to go unbroken and everything else the first round, you don't lose much time with a barbell movement like this if you just drop it real quick and then grab it again. So like even if you're doing 3 or 4 sets, I think makes sense.
Yeah, something to note. Her technique here is pretty smooth. Her back position is great. She has kind of the like almost technical power snatch that she's doing here. This might be a weight for people that you could cycle with like muscle snatches a little quicker and take breaks, but I think you're really only looking at that as like a more advanced RX level athlete who's training to be more competitive to try to make it to semifinals, because I think the separation is elsewhere in the workout, not necessarily there.
I will say this, that you're going to see some kind of either a power snatch or a power clean and jerk likely in the opener quarterfinals. We saw actually a ground to overhead in 2020 with the burpees and ground to overhead. Most people did snatches, but learning to have a higher hip and kind of hinge more and do what Max is saying, like a kind of a between a muscle snatch and a power snatch where you don't bring it into your hip, but you're kind of pulling underneath the barbell, makes a lot of sense, and it's a little bit more efficient, so it's worth practicing for people.
So her first round, she was done just over 4 minutes. She picked up the wall ball at 4:10. So we'll see how that compares to round 2.
Yeah, so that'd be like just under or just like middle of the 5th round if she was able to maintain that pace, or somewhere around the end of the 5th round if she was maintaining it. Because I think she was 4:07 to finish and was just a quick transition right to the wall ball.
She did drop the wall ball. So that's one break that she didn't have in the first round, which is fine.
Yeah.
And I think, again, with all of these movements, obviously you're not going to stop on the bike, but having some breaks here, like the wall ball, if you drop it real quick, you rest for 5 seconds, you pick it back up, you're not losing a ton of time, and it's probably more efficient so you're not losing time elsewhere, like on the bike or really slow box jump overs.
Ooh, he did the fast forward to the bike there. She did it at light speed. I didn't see the
3
pace.
seconds.
Did anyone see the pace?
That would be impossible.
It like blinked, and I think I
yeah.
saw it in the thousands, but that could be totally wrong. So a way to make these even more efficient, which is going to take some practice, is to do more of a lateral jump onto the box so that you don't have to spin on top and you're already stepping off, like already having done the partial turn. I like doing that. I'm also very tall, so it's easier for me, but something to play around with.
Yeah, I think this is largely dictated by how people jump, how long their legs are. But I think creating some of the rotation either in the jump, so she's jumping like very straight up and her chest is still facing where she's jumping. So either rotating when you go up or starting in a partial rotation can make it quicker. Do you stay lateral the whole time when you do it? Like you're perpendicular with the box?
I wouldn't say it's fully perpendicular, but it's mostly perpendicular.
You're more than a 45-degree angle, though.
Yeah.
I do think that what Mia's saying is probably the most efficient way.
That wasn't on purpose?
That didn't pan out right.
Anyways.
So you can see she's lost some time both in the bike and the box jump overs in that round, which is to be expected. There's going to be some deterioration. But I do think, to Max and Mia's point in the first round, being able to keep a faster bike pace throughout actually probably pays more dividends than the other movements, because you can lose more time by dropping from, let's say, her 1100 pace to like 800 pace.
Yeah, one thing I noticed with this standard of box jumps, there's way less separation for people, because even elite people, when they're doing it, just you can't move that much faster stepping off the box, but there's definitely separation a little bit here in just the sets of the power snatches. Maybe not taking breaks of wall balls, but that's also a slow turnover movement. So it does seem like this workout once you get to a certain level, will be largely dictated by your ability to maintain pace and fast transitions on the bike.
Yeah, absolutely. And the same thing's true with your transition. So like as she breaks on the barbell, staying over the bar, I know it's a lot of reps, so it's not fair to say take short breaks, but short breaks for you. Like figure out whatever your pacing plan is going to be. And it's like I'm gonna hold 6-second breaks for as long as possible, then 8, then 10, so on and so forth.
Yeah. So far, her breaks have been all really quick, and she's pretty much stayed on it. I mean, that break right there was 6 seconds until hands back on the bar. So she's 9 minutes in and has been pretty continuously working the whole time. But she's already a minute off of her first pace. So, I mean, would you say that maybe was like pacing, like went out too hot, or that this workout just maybe because you'll start unbroken is faster in the beginning?
I think you would start faster in the beginning. I don't think the fall off was like if she would have broken that first round, I think it would still end up being about the same. I think this is one of those movements where it's like kind of bank it while you have it to a certain degree. You don't want to go out too hot because it is 20 minutes, but I don't think doing that set of 23 wall balls unbroken was really that.
Like costly.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's probably
but
just
also,
a bike pace.
it like Brandon said, just letting the ball hit the ground and counting to 3 and picking it up could give your legs a quick second to chill, and that might be worth it. I think it's very athlete dependent and something you should explore in training, doing different strategies.
Yeah, I think you have to pick your poison a little bit. So for me, I really like wall balls in biking. I hate box jumps. So if I'm looking at this workout, I'm breaking the wall balls once for the first few rounds, trying to keep some bigger sets. So maybe it's like 13 and 10 for the first 2 or 3 rounds. I'm going to push the bike aggressively, and then I'm going to do really slow step-offs on the box jump overs and smooth ground to overhead, and hope that my push on the bike and then my slower box jumps kind of offset each other.
Ooh, we got the pace there. It was like high 900s.
Yeah, which is still pretty good.
Yeah, it's still maintaining a pretty solid pace. If somebody were to not have a C2 bike and be doing this workout with the row, should we think that pace is going to be slower on a rower than it is on the bike, or pretty similar?
I'm usually a little faster on a rower than a C2 bike. I try to stay within like 50 to 75 cal per hour under for the bike to the rower.
I actually think
taller. I wonder
Yeah.
if that's true for everyone.
I think it actually probably
is.
would be in this workout just because of the local
quad
of
fatigue.
the legs. Yeah, because going straight from wall balls into the bike is probably a little bit more detrimental than going into a row.
Yeah, you just saw her. She like balked to jump up and started taking breaks here. So I'm guessing at this point the legs are just smashed, and just heart rate in general. You could see her respiration is up and posture is starting to change.
Well, you think about it at this point, she's in her 3rd round, so she's already done almost 72 wall balls or whatever. Same thing on the calories. Now she's going to do 72 box jumps. That's a lot of volume already in 13 minutes.
So this is a longer transition. She must be getting chalk.
She forgot the chalk that she has right next to the barbell.
She didn't forget. That was the plan. I'm going to go walk over here for a sec.
So if I were to give her critique in this workout, which I will because I coach her, it would be, I think she can move the barbell a little quicker, even if that means dropping it more and just picking it up with shorter rest breaks. But she has that pause overhead that I think is just not necessary at this weight for her.
Yeah, this is like really good movement quality. You're not going to get no reps on it, but this is where like pushing the lines a little bit, not that you're trying to short the standard, but that you're not trying to overemphasize it in a way that slows you down. I think that's one of the, like, it's almost like there's little levels to learning how to go faster in the sport.
Yeah, it's really hard to do that, though, with the judging standards, and you want to do everything correctly, but everyone's moving so fast and almost like cutting that line.
Yeah, and it's easier to see on camera, or if you slow it down, it's much harder to see when it's real time and you're counting.
You can see here is like where the workout gets real. You're 14 minutes in. She
That's
knows
when
where
it always hits you because you have so much left, but much. The 20-minute AMRAPs are hard.
Yeah.
These are the nightmare open workouts. There's always that long open workout where the best are just moving the entire time. So if you want to make quarterfinals, or you're trying to crush quarterfinals into semifinals, you need to figure a way out how to manage your time over the course of 20 minutes.
And you have to be disciplined for a long time because there's going to be different points where different types of fatigue hit you, but if you take an extra 10-second break, that can be so many spots on the leaderboard, especially in the open.
Yeah, it's not even just discipline. It's also just discomfort tolerance. Like these workouts, for the best in the world, they hurt and are uncomfortable. And for every level down underneath that, if you're working for that long, it's going to get uncomfortable. Like, she's huffing and puffing and probably pretty near max heart rate here.
I think you're about to say blowing the house down.
And she still has 5 minutes to work. So
she's done 3 rounds in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
If she can stay on pace, she'll finish that 4th round. We'll see how she does. But, I mean, this last one's going to be tough. I do think as an athlete, this is where you have to kind of start thinking in your head, how far can I get and where can I kick?
yeah. So that just shows, so if she was about 4 minutes for the first round, about 5 minutes for the second round, that means she was about 6 minutes for the third round. So it means there's a pretty steady deterioration. I think for most people that's going to be the case. Maybe at the like really, really elite level, you say, you know, maybe pick a 4.5 minute starting pace and try to maintain that all the way through. But, you know, this is going to be nasty. This is a good way to start 2023.
Yeah.
Who do we attribute this to?
Brandon Dorman.
Brandon, is this an omen for 2023? You will not be able to walk in this year's
So
open.
in long workouts like this, I like to pick a transition point or a movement where I'm going to force myself to not fall off. And I know that sounds like it might not be realistic, but for me, it'd be something like the box jump overs. Like, I know that I can just dial in and focus on maintaining the exact same footwork the whole time. And that's like my cyclical point of the workout where I make sure I'm super disciplined. And then if I start blowing up more, I know I'll just break my snatches more, but make sure that I'm keeping like the speed of snatches the same. I think it's important to have those things in your head, like not just your plan, but what your plans are and where you're going to make up time when that happens and where you can kind of not take your time, but recover a little bit.
How many plans do you normally have in a
Like
workout?
2 or 3.
She's rolling out the
My
list.
whole, my
It's like
whole
a CVS receipt.
My whole CrossFit is an plan. Every time I plan a workout, I'm like, this is gonna hurt.
You're still beating people on site, though.
Oh, I know.
Proud of you.
Oh yeah.
I won't
He's
mention
done
any
like
names.
3 workouts.
Whatever.
in
He's
this
won every time.
whole
Yeah.
year.
I did not cherry pick the winter is coming workout. That would not be one I would want to do.
An echo bike for you though.
Blech.
That's
All right, so she has 1 minute left. She just glanced over at the clock. I don't know how aware she is. But at this point, I think it's like, okay, let me see if I can finish the round grabbing the barbell and just doing a big unbroken set.
Yeah, she's facing the clock now, so she's got to see it. We'll see what type of big set or finishing kick she has here. These, again, are another places on the leaderboard that you can make a big change for yourself if you can finish at the end with like a sprint, or if she could hang on to the bar for this whole 30 seconds.
Really tough at the end of the workout. And 95.65 is not light when you've done 19 minutes of work.
Yeah, when you've done basically like a hundreds chip, a broken up hundreds chipper at this
Yeah,
point.
exactly.
Yeah, I think at this point, holding on is not as important as moving fast and picking it up right away, which she's picking it up right away, but her pause at the top, I think, is she might as well just kind of like break
do
a
them
little
as
bit
singles
more.
or something like that.
Maybe not singles because the bar would bounce, but
Really good job fighting those last few reps.
What a perfect
All
execution.
right.
Excellent.
Well
great job,
done.
Nicole.
Happy New Year.
What a trooper.
It's a wrap, you know what I'm saying? Your boy Project Pata in this thing, man. Hey, look, man, thank y'all for watching Training Think Tank's YouTube channel. Y'all hit that motherfucking subscribe button, you know what I'm saying? So y'all go ahead, man. Thank y'all for watching the channel, you know what I'm saying? Hit that motherfucking subscribe button. Let it be known, what it be known, what it be known, you know what I'm saying? Pata.